Hello and welcome to Coffee with the Angels. I'm Katie Kiefer of awakentheinnerlight.com and coffeewiththeangels.com. So, Coffee with the Angels is an exercise that I do most mornings. I sit down, I have a cup of coffee, and I tune in and I'll ask a question or ask what message the angels have for today. These always apply to me in some way. Sometimes it's later that I really see it more clearly, but I know that these have to do with either something I'm working on and coming up on and going through or I'm curious about. Sometimes it really is a curiosity. And for myself, I usually find that I get curious about something just before we come into a space of where I'll be working on it. And so it's really interesting how that happens. So today is March 12th, 2018. And the message of the angels today has to do with the most powerful voice. So I'm going to start with reading what I wrote earlier, and then we'll see if there's any more to come through and maybe talk about it. The angels say, the most powerful voice you will ever deal with is the one inside your head. Regardless of whose voice that seems to be, it will shape and transform your mind and your reality. You have power over this voice. It is your birthright to choose what voice is in your mind and what it says to you. Pay attention, for this voice is thought. It generates thoughts, feelings, and actions as well. Practice the pause with yourself. Question the voice in your mind. So very often, what it says is untrue. Yet you believe what it says. That voice reflects the beliefs deep within. Clear the beliefs, change them, and the voice automatically changes. Your mind, your voice, your choice. And that's really all they had to say today. I find that powerful. And you might notice my lights flickering. It's sleeting and we've got snow on the way. So, and I'm in central North Carolina, in the Piedmont area. It can be weird. But anyway, just so you know, that's what's going on. Your voice, your choice. And I know that I have found that the voice in my head, regardless of whose voice it seems to be, somewhere I have found beliefs that that voice speaks to and connects with. And even though every other part of me can be screaming, no, I don't believe that. No, I don't believe that. If I start really digging and looking and muscle testing, there is something there. And when I change that, the voices change. Sometimes it is an excavation of layers. Sometimes it's just one big chunk of stuff that we can shift and change. I have mostly found that it takes layers. That's the way it's been for me. And it's not that way for everybody. It also depends on the issues. Some issues you'll have layers. Some issues you will have, big chunks that you can change. It just depends. So the most powerful voice is the one inside your head. And you are not crazy. That voice can be your mom. It can be a teacher who criticized you. If you are a woman or very feminine, criticism sticks really easily until you build your sense of self enough. You have to build your sense of self enough to where criticism does not change how you think of yourself. It is so easy for us to get lost. And it's those voices inside our head that are leading that charge until you take the power back and you Tell that voice, you have no power over me and I choose different. And when you do that, your neural pathways change. You know, the synapses that fire together, wire together, those begin to change. When you hear that voice in your head, those are firing together. And the more those fire together, the more ingrained they get, the stronger they become, and the weaker the opposition gets. And so it is vital to your own well-being that you pay attention to the voice that's in your head. Question it. Is it true? Ask for Creator's highest truth. Ask your divine team to show you what's true. If you are in an active relationship with someone else and it's their voice you're hearing in your head, ask to see what part of that is yours and to deflect off everything that's theirs. So that way you can deal with yours without being muddied with theirs. Continue to do that. It's important. I came into my marriage with a very, very low sense of self. I had like none. And I've built my sense of self. And it is the best thing I have ever done. I feel stronger. I am not as easily manipulated by anyone, including my parents. You know, my life path has been quite tumultuous emotionally. And actually quite emotionally abusive in many ways by people who had no idea that that's what was happening. They meant no harm. But how I receive things and how I perceive things is what built my belief systems. And when I took charge and made those changes, I found me. And it was those voices inside my head that I had to change. I had to change my feelings. I had to change my beliefs. But that voice inside my head changed. I had to actively consider it, think about it, and sometimes go cancel, clear, and choose a different thought. There have been many times I have been able to clear and change beliefs. The voices would automatically just vanish, which is really cool. And sometimes the feelings. You know, I download what something feels like from Creator's perspective. And when I do that, that lays the foundation. That way then I can go out and experience it. I have walked away from interactions going, oh my God, that was so cool. Did that really happen? That was so different than the past pattern. And it's really cool. So the big message, pay attention to the voice in your head, take control, change the belief systems, look for where that might actually connect with you. If it's triggering you, if it's hurting you, there is something there that you may have a belief, and it might not even be your own. It may be something that got passed down or something you were taught. So pay attention for that and look for that. Make the shifts. Cancel clear thoughts and those voices. You can tell those voices, stop. I choose different. You have no power over me. I choose to have the power and think this. The more you do that, the more you take back your sacred self, the more your sacred self can come forward, and the more you take power over your life, your well-being. And so, if you would like to know more, if you would like to experience the work of digging and changing beliefs and downloading feelings, you can schedule a session with me. You'll find a link to, if you're on YouTube, you'll find a link in the description to the full blog, and there will be 3 links at the bottom of the page. There's one for booking what I call a cuppa, which is, you know, a virtual coffee. We have a cup of coffee, cup of tea, whatever you like. We'll meet over Zoom, or if you're in the US, we can do it on the phone if necessary. That's fine. There's also a link for healing sessions and for readings. So if you're really interested in knowing more, I encourage you to ask questions. You can book that. The cuppa is essentially a free consultation. so that way you can get more information before you decide to um, book a healing session or a reading or even a feeling activation. I do have 30-minute sessions where we just look at the feelings and do feeling activations. So um, please forgive me. My dog is whining at the door. So anyway, so if you're interested and would like to know more, or if you want some help with getting through chunks of things, please feel free to use the links and book a session or just the consultation so that we can um, just connect and see if it's a good fit. So I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope that you will pay attention to the voices in your mind because they are vital and they are clues, and you have power over that. So I wish you well, and I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you next time. Bye.